So we've got a black canvas today, and we're gonna do a like a patriotic seascape. I'm going to try to pull it off. It is going to be similar to this, but without this part in the bottom. I'm gonna make it into like an ocean scene. So I did this one earlier today. This is an 11 by 14. You can see it's much smaller. So I did that. And I also finished off my dolphin. Because remember last time I didn't have the water splashes and stuff. So I finished that off today. I finally got brave and did it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a little bit of oil and I'm going to put it on my canvas. And I'm going to blend that in, and then we are going to start, guys. So I was contemplating doing this tonight because I know a lot of places, you know, have their 4th of July events tonight. But I was like, you know what? It's okay. If people don't, you know, if they don't jump on, not a big deal. It is still just something for me to do because I'm not going to go face all the crowds and get all the, yeah, no. I just soon stay at home. So I'm just using a little bit. I'm just really pushing that in. Now, because this is, I believe it's an 18 by 24, I am going to have to hold this part up so that we don't get that line in the middle. So I'm just going to move it to get the oil in there. Just so we don't have that real distinct line down the center. All right, I just need a little bit more. And when you're doing oils, this is one of the more crucial points, because if you put too much, your paint is just gonna really smear. And if you don't put quite enough, it's gonna take a little bit more for it to blend. So that was when I was learning, when I was teaching myself oils, that's the hardest part that I had to learn, was you put the oil on and then you take a shop towel. Remember, I didn't have any last time I used the paper towel. The shop towel doesn't leave that residue, like the little lint things there. So we just wiped some of it off. And all I had done is paint this with black gesso. So that's all I had done to get this prepped. All right, I was just making sure I didn't miss any comments. So yeah, if you guys are on, let me know where you're watching from. This should be a fairly simpler painting. So I am going to start, I'm going to get my blue section on before we start with the red. I'm going to probably use my 2-inch brush So and basically I just have, excuse me. I have cadmium red deep hue, alizarin crimson, titanium white, and Prussian blue. And I still have a little bit of black from earlier. So if I need that, it's on there already. So I'm just going to go into the Prussian blue. And basically, I just kind of, you know, load my brush like that. So I know, let's see, I want my, and I got a little bit of white in there. That's okay. And we're going to come down right about there. All right, so we're just going to blend this in. And I'm going to get that white off my brush. Should have cleaned my palette a little bit more. Oh, but that's okay. I probably will end up running a little bit of blue through here anyways, just so we can see that it is blue. So I just blended that white right in. Try to get it as straight as you can. It's not that crucial. All right, so I'm gonna clean my brush here. Is the angle all right, guys? Can you see that okay? All right, shake this brush out. All right, I'm gonna go in with my 1-inch brush, and I'm gonna do the alizarin crimson first, which is the really dark red. So I'm gonna go in with that, and we're gonna start getting stripes kind of where we want them. All right, let me just raise this a little bit. So we definitely want one at the top. So I'm going to start from the outside and go in. And then we're going to leave a space, and we're going to come back in with some more red, or the alizarin crimson, and then I will go over this with the red. And the only reason I'm doing this is so it's going to give me a good area to put my white. Like, as you can see on this one, it does blend into the red a little bit, so I'm trying to leave a little bit more of a space for that to that way we have a little bit of a gap in there for our white when we get ready to put our white in. And so yeah, I mean, you could probably do this in acrylic. It would be a little bit trickier doing your white to get it to be puffy like clouds, but you could do it. And we're gonna do, all right, I'm gonna put these ones a little bit closer. Just because I want the very bottom to be to be this red. Not a lot, but at least something. Okay, so now I'm not even going to clean my brush. I'm just going to go right into the red. And then we'll start getting this red area to really start to pop. Just like that. So one of the artists that I watch, Paint with Josh, he's done these for a few years now. And I've always wanted to try it, and they've just intimidated me. It just seemed, you know. So today was the day that I decided I'm going to attempt it. So he is the inspiration and the mastermind behind this. So I'll probably change mine up a little bit, but we will see. We'll see if I destroy it or not. All right, got one more here. So I'm just kind of going back and forth to give that a nice smooth finish to it. Okay. So we've got that in. I know, guys, I didn't even do anything with my hair or anything. So I was going to post earlier, but we had severe thunderstorm warnings here for most of the day. And I didn't want to like commit to going live until I knew that we weren't going to be having any more thunder showers, because we lost power a couple times this afternoon, and I didn't want to be in the middle of a live and, you know, like, boop, no power. All right, so I'm going to start with this size fan brush for my white. I might end up switching to the bigger one. I don't know, but we will see. So you're just going to get some white paint down onto our canvas. So let me just see how that's going to blend out before I continue. I think I'm going to need a little bit more paint in here. All right. So I'm just going to take my 1-inch brush, and I'm going to start at this end, and we're going to just slowly blend that out. And I'm trying to not get too much of the red in there. Yeah, no, it doesn't look nothing like his, let me tell you. All right, I'm gonna clean that off. Let me try my bigger fan brush and see. You know, maybe I'm going too heavy with my white. That could be too. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just putting it too much of it. Because I'm not leaving enough of the dark behind, maybe. So let's try this again. All right, that looks a little better. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more so I can get a little bit more of a definition here. Trying to wipe all that red out. Just to give it more of that fluffy. All right. I guess we're just gonna roll with it. Okay. And then we're just gonna slowly work our way down. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Don't bite. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Deborah, I'm glad you caught me live too. Hey, Jess. Welcome, guys. All right, let's see if we can, I'm trying to think if I have a different brush I could blend with. Something a little softer. Let me try this round one and see. I don't know. You know, it's learning the amount of paint, the amount of pressure. It's, yeah. You know, and I am still fairly new. To oils, so. Oh. Just want to lighten this a little bit up in there. Whoa. Whoa. All right. Oh, now comes the scary part, guys. All right. So now I want this part to be my ocean. So I'm going to use what I have on my brush. Before I go in with a palette knife, I want to just try to get something going in the back here. Now, Josh usually does big kind of crashing waves. I am not going to do that. That's why I said I'm going to be changing mine up a little bit. All right. I was thinking about putting a mountain in, but I had a little bit of white there. Oh, now I'm like, I still gotta do my stars up here. I might have made my spacing too big. I don't know. But we're just gonna keep going here. All right, so I am going to, let's see. All right. And let's see. And then I'll probably go in with my palette knife. And put, you know, because sometimes we don't always get a big crashing wave. We get, like little breakers. But we do have, we will have some sort of splashy down here. Let's see. And then we're gonna, all right, let me take my palette knife and I got a little bit of yellow in there. I'm just going to kind of go trying to wipe some of the red out of my brush. All right, so that looks like a little bit of crashing waves. Let me see if I missed any comments. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Terry. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Okay. So I've got a little bit of crashing here. I'm going to undo this so I can lock this down and try to have it so it's not going to fall off the thingy. All right, I got to get some more white. Okay, so now we need this to kind of be like the sand. So I have got to, let me put a little bit more of this down in here so we can we've got to pull some down to make our water reflections here. Okay. All right, here we go. Bravery test. I don't like mine to be like completely smooth. I like to see a little bit of that that pull down in the back, because to me that's what kind of gives it that watery kind of look. All right, so I'm gonna try to find a clean spot on my palette, and we're gonna take some of the liquid white and I'm just gonna take a little bit and I'm gonna put it on my palette. and mix that with my titanium white. So I get a nice thin consistency. So you can see how it's much thinner here. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to start getting our little water ripply and each time I go back in, I wipe it off on my paper towel. I think that's one of my best water ripples that I've ever done in a long time. So I'm happy with that. And I'm not going to like overdo it. I'm just going to leave it. But I do want to put, I want to put like some rocks here and maybe a rock over here, because I want to make this one I want to make it my own. I don't want to have to copy somebody's exactly. I used it more like for a reference. And I do want to have a little bit of like a foamy top here. And then I can just kind of grab that little bit and run that over the top to give it a little bit more movement, I guess. And it will kind of make it look like it's a little bit more foam. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black and my blue, because this part would probably be reflecting down at the bottom here. So I'm going to take the black and the blue and just make like a really dark blue for my rocks. So let's put one right in here. Okay. All right, so let's get some white and some of that darker color. And we're gonna, this is gonna be our shadow side. And let's see, I'll just pick up a little bit of the white because it will mix automatically. All right. Take a little bit of this lighter blue. Give us some shadows. And I'm going to take some more of my liquid white. And my titanium white. I'm going to mix that and make a really thin, goopy, so we can put some water like around these rocks. Hang on. I do want to take, let me wash this fan brush. I'm going to set those rocks down into that beach. Okay. Now, we will put a little bit of water around them. Okay. Let's see. Let's put, gotta have some different shaped ones. You know, we can't have all our rocks being all the same. Okay. So we're gonna take that medium blue that we had made, put that little bit of white in there. So our light is obviously coming this way because this is the highlighted side. So this part of these rocks will be the lighter part. Like obviously the top, but these are going to be the dark. This is going to be the darker side. And that could be a smidge lighter. Just now, take some white. And we're going to set these back into the dirt here. I'm going to set them into our beach. All right. And let's get our really thin white. And we're going to put some water around them. Okay. Whew, I'm liking that so far. All right, let me catch up, see if there's any comments that I've missed. Nope, okay, no comments. We got a quiet group tonight. I look like a Smurf. Okay, so now the next thing that scares me is I want to do this. I want to do the spray on for my stars. I have not done that yet. Which way am I going here? Okay. I have not done that with oils. So I'm going to put some more of the white. This is the regular thick white, the titanium white. And then I'm going to thin it down. And I got a little bit of blue in there, and that's fine. All right, let me clean my 2 fan brushes. I think I'm going to use my really small one to be on the safe side. And I will start like at the top of the corner. I need some cleaner paper towels now. So I'm going to start with this little baby one. So I'm just going to get some on my brush. Let me see. How am I going to... I'm going to test it on my palette. So can I tip this down anymore? I'll do it over here so you can see. I'm trying to figure out, like, which way am I going to get the splatters to go. All right, I think if I do it that way. So let me just put you back up. All right. So I'm going to stand back a little bit further because that will make them a little bit smaller. Yay! Doesn't take much to excite me, guys. Let me see. I don't even know if you can see that. Can I zoom in? There you go. So now you can see the stars. All right, let me zoom back out here a little bit. I'll keep you zoomed in just a smidge like that. All right, so now I need to put some sparkles in our sky. And then I'm going to do the same thing, I think, down at the bottom for a little bit of sand. But I think I'm going to do the red, the white, and the blue for the sand. So it will kind of like incorporate everything. So these are my special liner brushes that I bought that were a little bit on the higher end. But I purposely, oh, why is that one coming off? Because I want it very, very a thin line. So I'm going to take like this bigger dot right here and I'm going to pull up. All right, hang on. I got to move my palette so I can rest my arm. So that's a little bit bigger one. I do want some littler ones. And let's see. Just want a few in there. Okay, that's just going to be just like a little cloud up in there because I didn't like the way that one looked. So when you're painting and you screw up, you make it be something else. That's the beauty of painting. And it's always harder when I'm filming, trying to get these just right because of the angle. But I still attempt it. Okay. So we need to have a little bit of a sparkle on one of our waves. Just to make it stand out just a smidge. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in the center and we're just going to put a white dot. I'll try to get it to be a white dot. And where else did I put one? All right, guys, this one's almost finished. All right, what do you think so far, guys? What do you think? I might have made my blue a little too big. I'm not sure perspective-wise, but I think I do want to just blend that in there a little bit more. You love it? Okay. All right, so let's get a little bit of the sand in the beach. So I'm gonna actually use my paint thinner to thin down the blue and the red, so that I'm not losing the color. So I'm gonna start with the blue first, and I'm just going to get it really thin. And let me just, all right, I think that will. I got it too far up in my brush. I'm gonna thin that down. Okay, so we got some blue down, and I will hold that up and show you guys and once I get the sand in. So I'm going to do the same thing with the red. I'm going to take some of the red, get it really thin, and we're going to a little bit bigger gob, but that's okay. Okay. I'm gonna wipe my knife. Just blend that in just a smidge. Okay, now we're gonna do the white. Oh, I got a hair. There. Oh, I got one little spot here that I missed. Right there, okay. Okay. So I'm going to stand it up and show you guys up close here before I go ahead and sign it. So yeah, this is a big one. This is an 18 by 24. And if it wasn't in the spirit of staying with, you know, like the red, white, and blue theme, I probably would have put some shelves, tried to put some shelves in the bottom, but I am not going to. And I think I smudged my water right there, so I'm gonna try to fix it. Just make another one. There we go. Because I smudged it. Now, a lot of times you could pull those little things back, but sometimes it takes away from it. So I will pull this one back though a little bit. I'm gonna leave it because I really like how those little wave things came out. So yeah, I am just going to leave it. And I'm gonna use the red. Let me get a shorter liner brush. So there's all different like heights. So I'm gonna take No, I think I'm gonna go in with the blue to sign my name. No, I'm gonna change it again. I'm gonna go red because I'm gonna do it on the dark side. So I'm just gonna thin some paint, some red down. All right, so MCD and then 25 for the year. There we go. All right, so let me just see if we love it, very cool. All righty, guys. So yeah, so this is our painting from tonight. This is the one that I did earlier today. And I struggled with my silhouette, guys, let me tell you. And I did fix my dolphin. I finished my dolphin. So he's now got the spray coming out. So now all three of these are for sale. Obviously, they can't go anywhere until they dry, which will be 3 to 4 days. But yeah. Thanks, guys. All right, so I'm just going to clean my brushes here real quick, which I didn't make as much of a mess tonight because I was limiting myself on colors. And I took a chance knowing that tonight it was, pre-4th of July, so I wasn't going to do something too complicated or something that was going to take too long because, thank you, Mary Beth. I know everybody's, celebrating the 4th, so. All right, my brushes are all cleaned. All righty, guys. So that does that for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. I really do appreciate you guys being here. And I hope you all have a happy and safe 4th, guys. And I will see you guys on my next video. Alrighty, guys. Bye. Thanks for hanging with me. And now I gotta... all right. I've always got to figure out how I got to stop mirroring it in order to disconnect. Alrighty, guys. Bye.